Good morning, my friends. Today we are going to work on a mythological sea serpent called the Leviathan. So get your pencils and paper ready and join me for some fun. So this is a Leviathan that I drew. Typically with all sea serpents, the Leviathan has a long snake-like body, and you can use it to great advantage by doing twists and curls, which makes the drawing very dynamic. And usually the Leviathan has a dragon's head, or you could do like an eel-like fish head. So you actually have options. And over here, the body of the Leviathan, you could actually choose to make it more fish-like or actually more reptilian. So you have many different ways of doing the Leviathan. Before we begin, like we did before, I recommend that you create a lot of little thumbnails, little drawings of the form you want the Leviathan to take. It's different postures. So for instance, I could do the Leviathan curling this way, or I could do it this way. So do a couple of different little drawings and decide how you want to do the twists and turns to make it a very interesting drawing. So like I said, you could actually choose to have the head of something relating to more dragon-like. So it could be any form of reptiles, perhaps an alligator, dinosaurs. And you could also do the head of the Leviathan to be more fish-like. And over here I have an example, which is the moray eel. So we could actually use either one of these options to create a head for the Leviathan. So like for instance, I'm just going to demonstrate how we could do a snake-like serpentine head for the Leviathan. So what you need to do is you just create the roughly create the form. Okay, so I've quickly blocked out the form of the Leviathan's head, and now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add in solidify the form by putting in some dark lines. So the interesting thing about the Leviathan is really open to interpretation, and if you think of it along the lines of the Leviathan being a sea creature, you can think about adding fins to uh, the head of the Leviathan. So you could actually, it's actually pretty up to you. You could put horns. You could put horns. You could put like fins coming out from its side, like that. Fins coming out from below. So it's actually a very versatile thing for you to do, and then you could just add the scales. If you like, you could even do scales that are pointed towards the end. So it's really up to your imagination. So over here I have decided to go with a very dragon-like look. So it's with the horn sticking out. And then I think perhaps we could even make it a little bit more interesting, since it's a sea serpent, to just add in some fins. You could add in the fins coming out from its back like that. So there you go. This is how you could actually start to draw the head of the Leviathan. So now we're going to go into the tail. So you can, again, you can opt to have a reptilian tail like in a crocodile or a dinosaur, or you can go for a very fish-like tail. Alright? So we can really have a lot of fun with the tail. Let's just do a couple of examples. So this is the end of the tail of the Leviathan. Right. Just gonna quickly sketch it out. Make it a little bit darker so you can see. Okay. So you could say, for instance, decide that your Leviathan has a huge, round, spiky ball at the end, which you could use to attack his enemies. Right? So you could even have the Leviathan's tail be very fish-like. So it's really up to you to decide how you want it to be, and have fun with it. So you could actually just use your imagination and try out all different kinds of designs for your Leviathan. Now let's do a step by step. From beginning to completion, how we're going to do the Leviathan. Of course, you need to first block out the shape that you want. I've decided that I want a very snake-like perhaps reptilian dragon kind of a head. So you just block it out. Then you decide how you want the Leviathan to be twisting and turning its body. Right? So this line is actually the dorsal fin line. It's just gonna run through the body like that, because on top of it I'm going to put some fins. So this is gonna tell me that this is the top part of the body. Alright. Okay, so I have blocked out the shape of the Leviathan. And yeah, like I showed you earlier before, now we can just go ahead and work on the head. So I already blocked out the form. So always use the internet, look for pictures, look for snakes, reptiles, dinosaurs, whatever that captures your fancy, and then, you know, have fun with it. I've decided to have some fillers coming out from the chin to give it some interest. Okay. I'm gonna have him have this big horns sticking out. So I really think knittable erasers are the best, because you could actually mold it to get at the little nooks and crannies. So you could get rid of some of the guidelines which you blocked out earlier. So it would help you see better how the shape is coming along. Okay. And then the lines which you like, you could darken it. Alright. And maybe I'm going to have like some fins sticking out from the side of the Leviathan, like that, because it is after all an underwater monster, and I think it should have fins so it could, you know, maneuver underwater. maybe even a horn sticking out if you like. Yeah, I think this makes it looks a little bit more beastly here. You know, I could just imagine that it would use its horn to ram into the ship and sink it. So you could get at the tasty morsels, all the little human beings. And then you could do some shading where the shadows ought to be. Okay. On the top of the head and the side of the head, the horns. Could shade it a little. Down the side. So, of course, with any monster, we need sharp teeth. Right? Can try to make sure you can see it. So, sharp teeth. So it's gonna be really dark inside the mouth. Okay, so I'm trying to make it look really frightening. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so now let's get to the body. Like I said, this is the dorsal fin, the line for the dorsal fin on the top of its back, so the fins will be sticking out. And we can add some fins sticking out like that. Alright. And it could actually go around the whole body if you like. It does give it added interest. So the body is very much like the Oriental dragon. So once you master doing the Leviathan, it's actually quite easy to adapt it to look like the Chinese Oriental dragon. Alright, so now I have the fins. So next comes the really tedious part, which is the scale of on the Leviathan's body. So this is going to take a while. The underbelly, if you look at a snake's underbody, is actually like segmented like that. So this will show the difference. It gives contrast, textural contrast too, because we have the patterns of the scale on top and the segmented body at the bottom. So you keep at it. So you can't see it over here because it goes underneath. Because the body is twisting. Now the bottom segments is not underneath, and we're seeing the top part of the body. Alright. So it's looking pretty good. think it looks pretty fierce. I would want to meet him during a cruise. Okay, looks good. Okay, so I'm just going to complete the scales. It's going to take a while. So I'm just going to freeze the screen and get back to you. Whew. Okay, that took a while, but I kind of roughly put in all the scales all around his body. Okay, and then what we can do now is the tail, and I've decided I'm going to do a very like fish-like tail. And shift it up so you could see, and decided to go for a very fish-like tail. And then we could shape the tail in between the spikes. This is going to be darker, and then it gradually gets lighter. Okay, that gives it more definition and more interest. The devil is in the details, so detailing is very important. All right. And yeah, so of course with the scales you can do the same thing we did with the griffin. You could actually start shading it if you like, to make it more visually appealing, and you could actually show the transition where it's darker at the overlap over here, and it becomes gradually lighter. So you could do that if you want, but I'm not going to do it over here right now because it's just going to take up too much time. So, okay, now we have the body. You should actually shade it on the top here. Alright, so it actually looks more 3D. So I'm going to shape the top part over here. Like that. And then where the dorsal fin is, you could actually make it slightly darker. Okay. And then you could also, between each segment, you might want to shape like this to show distinction between the different segments. I'm just going to quickly shade over here. Alright, just like that. So after shading, this is what it looks like. I highlighted on the back here near to the dorsal fin, and with the shadow you can see it creates the illusion that how the body of the Leviathan is actually twisting and turning. So that's it for our Creature Shop session today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I look forward to you sending me pictures of your very own Leviathans. Make it any way you want and make it truly unique. And I would see you at the next session of Creature Shop. So thank you for drawing with me. Have fun and stay healthy. Bye.